They don't want him to be able to shake her down because he does not deserve it from her and all the she went through in this district.
I'm not aware of allegations where Dr. Briggs doing anything to your daughter specifically.
No, it wasn't him specifically.
Racism is very upset that you're ignoring him right now because he used to be, in his heyday, he used to be an offensive lineman. And so he's used to clearing out the outside. So that's why he went and got Rainey Briggs because he was trying to clear the way for his daughter to come through, you know, like a rush. His daughter was supposed to hit the hole. Welcome to a Racist of the Week update. My name is Reese Waters. Now, typically this is where we expose the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union and also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the page and leave me any possible suggestions for nominees in the comments. Now, the difference with the update, sometimes I like to refresh some of the stories that we've covered in this space. And I believe y'all probably remember Matt Eddy. It's only been about a week or so. That was the white father who disrupted his daughter's high school graduation ceremony by rushing the stage and shoving the black superintendent.
Oh,
You're not.
excuse me. Where's Brendan?
Man, you better get up off
Where's
me,
Brendan?
man.
Where's
Get away from me, bro.
No, don't.
Hey, you need to get, hey,
Walk away. Walk away.
You gotta get off. Out right now. I don't want her touching. I don't care. Get off the stage right now. Get off.
Well, now he is outright denying that his actions were racially motivated. Now, Matt Eddy didn't attend a court hearing recently in person, but his lawyer, Karl Gebhard III, spoke on his behalf, making it clear the incident had nothing to do with race. Quote, "My client understands the concerns about racism. What happened on May 31st had nothing to do with race." Briggs also revealed to the Daily Mail that Eddy's lawyer had reached out to express remorse a day earlier. However, Briggs remained firm in his stance, stating that an apology ain't gonna cut it. Quote, "An apology just doesn't make things go away. I don't think an apology and I'm sorry makes this go away because there's a lot of harm that was caused." Now, with respect to court interests, I understand that an open case is not something that you want to be discussing out in the open, but I have never needed an attorney to dismiss allegations of racism. I don't know that anybody that I've ever known has needed an attorney to deny that their actions were in fact racist. Hey man, my bad, it wasn't racist. I don't know that that would get you in any legal trouble, so I'm not exactly sure what the whole hiding behind the attorney is. And if there's one thing that we know about him, he's definitely not shy.
Oh.
So I'm not gonna give him the, well, he's not a public person, he's very private, so he's gonna use his lawyer to do the talking for him. Oh yeah, because that was a very private person that ran up on stage and announced himself to America. Now, Superintendent Rainey Briggs was in court seeking a restraining order against Eddy, which the court granted. The incident occurred during the graduation ceremony at Baraboo High School, where Eddy, 49, disrupted the event by rushing the stage to prevent Briggs from shaking his daughter's hand. Eddy later explained that his actions were driven by anger over the school's treatment of his daughter, who had been expelled for undisclosed disciplinary reasons. Now, during the hearing, Briggs presented videos showing Eddy forcibly stopping him from shaking hands with his daughter as he was about to receive her diploma. Eddy could be heard saying, quote, "You're not going to touch my effing daughter." The judge issued a 4-year restraining order with penalties for violations, including a $10,000 fine and up to 90 days in jail if violated. Now, I will restate something that I mentioned in the initial video, which, by the way, the description will include the link to that. I have never known you to hold a school superintendent, the superintendent of the district, responsible for disciplinary reasons. That is a new one. That is a new one. I've heard the teacher, I have heard the principal, I have even heard the guidance counselor, I've heard other kids, I've heard other kids' parents. At no point have I ever heard the superintendent. And you know what? I wish I knew that as a kid. I wish I knew that. You know what, Mama? No, it wasn't. See, the superintendent. That's really who is the superintendent of the whole school district who is responsible for breaking that window. Yeah, he encourages my truancy. I also find it odd that it wasn't as if you took issue with the superintendent in a general way. You specifically removed him from stage and didn't want him touching your daughter. Ooh, that seems a scant racist, right? That just seems a scant racist. I don't want you to touch this man. That was the issue, was the touching, right? Was the touching, because we don't have a history here in America of issues of touching between interracial groups. That's never really been a thing. And I also love, if you wanted to stand on business, right? I want to stand on business. I have issues with how he conducted himself. How are you conducting yourself where you feel like you have the audacity to go up on stage and remove him? You didn't bring your daughter off stage. You didn't tell her, I don't want her. You removed him. She's going to have her moment, but I'm going to remove you. And oh yes, my behavior will not take away from her moment at all, right? Because the only person that can see me is Rainey Briggs. Now Briggs, by the way, testified that the restraining order was necessary not only for his own safety, but also for the safety of his family, colleagues, and students he interacts with daily, saying, quote, "The break in safety and civility is unprecedented in our work as educators." He expressed sympathy for those disrupted by the incident, including Eddy's daughter and the 3,000 attendees at the ceremony, saying, "My heart goes out to his students, to his daughter, and to everybody in attendance that night. Hopefully these things can be resolved in some positive way." So I see that Briggs is taking the high road and extending some grace to the audience, because they was cheering, and I wasn't exactly sure why, because I had brought up what had happened with the high school just a couple of years earlier. Meanwhile, Eddy's lawyer described his actions as those of an immature and upset father, emphasizing that Eddy did not harm or intimidate Briggs, saying, "The truth here is we have a father who was upset with how his daughter was treated by the district, and particularly the superintendent. My client's actions are immature, patronizing, and incredibly embarrassing, but immature acts are not harassment." Okay, so if running up on stage and removing the superintendent and saying, "You're not touching my effing daughter," so if that's not harassment, and it's not harm, and it's not intimidation, what was it?
That's assault. That is assault.
Huh? What was it? I mean, you have taken a lot off the table. What exactly was it, if not harm, harassment, or intimidation? Was it horseplay? Is that what it is? Was he playing? Was it a loving embrace? I'm trying to figure out what you have left on the table for me. And it's not helped that Eddy himself initially tried to claim that Briggs touched him first.
Again, I didn't see what happened, so I don't know what the physicality of it was. Was it like a body block? I mean, what were we talking about?
Exactly. That's all it was.
Was there pushing? Was there shoving?
Not till me got put his hands on me. I didn't come up to him like, knock him out or push him down.
I need to know in what world you can run up on stage, remove somebody, actually say, "I don't want you touching my daughter," and feel like you were touched first. That is a level of delusion that we need to investigate as a society. That doesn't even obey the laws of physics for you to run up on stage and then everybody shifts backwards into the left, but you were touched first. I think you should go back to school, sir. I think you deserve the seat that your daughter just vacated, either by graduation or suspension. You should go ahead and get that seat. And by the way, Rainey Briggs should remain the superintendent as well in charge of your schooling. By the way, since the initial video, we actually have another angle just to cement that point. Now, Eddy's lawyer was particularly sensitive to the claim the incident was racially motivated, noting that Eddy would have reacted similarly regardless of who the superintendent was. Now, that might make some sense if you had beef with the superintendent specifically, except
They don't want him to be able to shake her down because he don't really deserve it from her and all the she went through in this district.
I'm not aware of allegations where Dr. Briggs, anything to your daughter specifically.
No, it wasn't him specifically.
Okay.
in his own words, he does not have a specific beef with the superintendent. But that was who he decided to run up on stage and put his hands on and shove out of line and say, "You're not gonna touch my effing daughter." I'm running out of excuses. I mean, really, like, you want to tell me it's not racism, but he's saying that he put his hands on her first, which we know is a lie, so your credibility is shot. And then you see that you don't even have a specific beef with this particular dude. So racism is very upset that you're ignoring him right now. What do you want? Oh, well, see, now, because he used to be, in his heyday, he used to be an offensive lineman. And so he's used to clearing out the outside. So that's why he went and got Rainey Briggs, because he was trying to clear the way for his daughter to come through, like a rush. His daughter was supposed to hit the hole, after he blocked and cleared the way. I got nothing. I got nothing for you. Now, Briggs himself acknowledged that while the optics were poor, he never directly accused Eddy of racism. We're just gonna let the video speak for itself, saying, quote, "What I did say is that the optics don't look good." And I wanna be very clear that the optics don't look good, given it wasn't specifically Dr. Briggs that did something, but Dr. Briggs was the one that was attacked. Exactly. Now, following the confrontation, Eddy was escorted out of the building and arrested for disorderly conduct. He blamed school officials for his daughter's expulsion, though Briggs clarified he had no role in disciplinary actions and didn't even recognize Eddy during the incident, saying, quote, "I wouldn't have been able to pick this guy out of any crowd. It wasn't until after that I was able to pull his name up in the system to see who this was." Shocking, his name was up in the system. I wonder, what's Eddy's side of the story?
She was expelled for doing the same thing that was done to her, and nothing happened to the previous people. And we had to have the meeting in there with him, the school board.
Like an expulsion hearing?
Yeah. And he was rolling his eyes when I brought up the fact that the same thing happened to her. And you.
So that's why you made this scene. That is why you made this scene, because you were mad that she was disciplined for something you don't deny even that she did, but just claiming that other people did it too. Now, I felt bad for her before for having to grow up in this house, but knowing that this is an acceptable explanation for you that other people were doing it too, that is the kind of thing that kids tell to parents, not the kind of thing that parents tell to police. Now, at a school board meeting, members condemned Eddy's actions and defended the superintendent. Although Briggs didn't attend, he stated he has no plans to step down from his leadership role. Eddy denied pre-planning the episode and told police he even walked out when Briggs gave his speech. However, he was seen pacing by the bleachers before rushing in front of the stage to clap for his daughter, then leaping over the steps to reach Briggs. Kind of sounds planned to me. Kind of sound planned to me. Sound like you getting your energy up like Sonic the Hedgehog. This is the rare moment where you are better off just getting in your car and leaving. Typically, I don't tell people to run away from their problems. You should have ran away from this problem. I don't think that I've ever considered a scenario ever before in my life where it would have been better for a parent to leave their child's graduation. But you are the first, sir. You are the first. She would have been better off, everybody would have been better off if you would have abandoned the graduation or just made up an excuse why you couldn't be there in the first place. I gotta go down to the foundry. Whatever it is, would have been better off than what you did. Now, the confrontation occurred amid broader tensions within the school district. Superintendent Briggs and the school board have faced criticism from a group of outraged residents. They're currently trying to recall school board president Kevin Vodak, who was present at the graduation. Vodak has been accused of favoritism and failing to provide adequate pay and support for teachers. Critics have also pointed to a high turnover of staff during Briggs' tenure. But guess who nobody put their hands on? Huh? Guess who didn't get shoved out of line or body blocked? School board president Kevin Vodak. Yes, that is correct. Briggs also faced scrutiny over his salary and the contracts awarded to his consulting firms. That doesn't shock me at all. What's his brother making all this money? You know what? He driving a brand new car. I mean, not new, but it was since 2020. Briggs, while acknowledging the disruption caused by the incident, expressed hope for a positive resolution. But there won't be one to this video. Congratulations, Matt Eddy. After reviewing the footage, you are still a Racist of the Week nominee. However, the good news is that you were beaten out in the voting by Byron Donalds and by Donald Trump. And also, according to unemployed TikToker Lily Gaddis, you have a bright future in conservative media. Links to all those videos are in the description. As always, if you have somebody you'd like to nominate, leave it in the comments. You can email me at reestyletwaters@gmail.com, and be sure to subscribe to the page to make sure you get notified when the next video drops.